What is good, YouTube? This is your boy, Aaron.
It's Brian. Salute.
And this is the Courtside View Podcast. And we are back today. But before we start, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, and follow the socials as well because we post stuff on social media. So check out those videos. And let's continue. Now, today we are reacting to the previous week's news. And man, just a whole lot of stuff. NFL free agency, Justin Fields, his trade market, and seems like it's very dry right now. And then also we have to go to the report about D'Angelo Russell, Darvin Ham. I want to talk about that. And then there's something else I want to talk about. Something else. Oh, the trade for Keenan Allen. The Bears traded for Keenan Allen. That came out of left field. Like I didn't expect that at all. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. I want to start off with NFL free agency because there was a lot of movement in NFL free agency.
For some teams, at least.
Yeah, for some teams. Obviously, the Dallas Cowboys, they didn't make much moves at all. They just re-signed
as usual
their players, and they signed Eric Hendricks to a deal, which is, I mean, he's okay, but he's not what he once was, and that's pretty much it for the Cowboys. Hey, when they say we're going all in, I guess that means just re-signing your players.
What Jerry really meant, he was going all in to Cancun so they could get the most out of their vacation time. That's what he meant. He clearly wasn't talking about football.
Well, let's not talk about the Cowboys right now because there's not really much to say about the Cowboys besides the fact that they just didn't make any moves. Like always, really. Last year was an anomaly. I mean, they traded for guys, but that was really an anomaly, I mean, in itself. I guess that was the year you all decided to go all in, but anywho. All right, so free agency. The biggest move, I would say, is Kirk Cousins. He signed with the Atlanta Falcons, coming off an Achilles injury, 4 years, $180 million. Whew.
I don't know. Someone said that Kirk Cousins go into these contract negotiations with C4 in his chest because there's no way he keeps getting this much money year after, especially he's 36, 35, off an Achilles injury.
His agent is one of the best. You got that agent. He's doing his job. He's done a tremendous job with Kirk Cousins. But Kirk Cousins, you have to give him credit because in the past he was always healthy.
Yeah.
When he was in Washington, he would take the franchise tag. He wouldn't complain. He would play on the franchise tag for $30 million. And after the second franchise tag, he was like, I'm out. And he decided to sign a deal with the Minnesota Vikings for an enormous amount of money. He got first fully guaranteed contract, and he was able to capitalize on it. He played for the majority of the time, except last season where he eventually got injured. But he still played really well. His game doesn't require a whole lot of athleticism, and because of that, the Atlanta Falcons felt it was necessary to give him this deal because he fits their system. Zach Robinson's system. Raheem Morris, he wants a quarterback that he's able to throw with anticipation, with timing. And the Rams, that's what they do. You have to throw with timing. You have to be precise, be accurate, and that's what Kirk Cousins can do. And that's what they felt they need. And salute to the Atlanta Falcons for finally getting a good quarterback. And seems like they are the favorites in the NFC South because of the deal with Kirk Cousins. And I like the team.
Yeah. And the Saints probably will be near bottom of the division because they have been doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they haven't. You're absolutely right. They just released Mike Thomas because he failed another physical. So that's one of the things. And then they're gonna stay with Derek Carr for whatever reason, and they stayed with that coach
Dennis
for whatever
Allen.
reason. I just don't. That 9-8, not 9-8. What was it? It was maybe is it 9? Yeah, it is 9. Yeah, it's 9-8 because I'm just thinking because it's like 16, not 17, but now 17 games. So yeah, it was a 9-8 season, and they just for whatever reason they felt the need to keep Dennis Allen and Derek Carr. But it is what it is. But yeah, other deals.
Of the NFC South.
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield got his money.
Yeah, he got re-signed for $100 million, 3 years. Salute to him.
Yeah, they counted him out, man. He ain't right back though.
No, he didn't. And I think the interesting thing that's going to be for Baker Mayfield is, was he a product of Dave Canales, or was he actually, did he actually play really well, regardless of the play calling, regardless of the fact that Dave Canales, wherever he went, the quarterback had an amazing year. So we'll see if he can live up to this contract. But salute to Baker Mayfield. He has gone through the gauntlet and stuff like that. He was a backup in Carolina at one point for Sam Darnold. Like, it was getting messy for him. But now he's back starting, and he got $100 million for it. So congratulations to him. Russell Wilson signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers for 1 year for $1.2 million. That is a bargain. That is a great deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And
Russell Wilson, what a fall from grace. He went from let Russ cook to playing on a prove it deal.
Well, at least he started. And at least he's not going to have to fight for that starting job, because they traded Kenny Pickett to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck that's all about.
Well, because Kenny Pickett,
I know he played at Pitt, but
yeah, I think what the thing is with Kenny Pickett is that it was reported that he felt not, I wouldn't say necessary, pretty much disrespected because of the fact that he felt like he was going to be able to fight for the starting job. And when Russ came in, that totally changed. It became, well, Russ, he's the starter no matter what. And so Kenny Pickett felt the need to leave that situation. And I don't blame him. He went to Philadelphia, and he's going to back up Jalen Hurts. If you're going to back up any QB, why not be like a top 10 QB in itself? So, I know you like top 10. Well, a QB,
I'll give him top 10.
A respectable QB where if you're going to back up somebody, the talent of Jalen Hurts. So there's no problem with backing up Jalen Hurts for a year. Kenny Pickett wasn't that good. It's just plain and simple. And so
being a backup QB is a good gig in the NFL. You kidding me?
It is. But I think one of the things that Kenny Pickett, he feels like he could be a starter.
Has he seen his tape?
I think he maybe he feels like Matt Canada was part of that. So
I think this is just like another Gardner Minshew situation where the Eagles get some good reps from Kenny Pickett and be able to move him for like a third or something in the future.
Yeah, maybe that could be the case. We'll have to see. But let's go down the list. Just some more important moves. I mean, Minnesota, they signed Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold, he's going to be just a bridge quarterback for whoever they draft, and whoever they get, whatever quarterback they get in the draft. I feel like Minnesota, it seems like they're positioning themselves to move up in the draft to try to trade with the Patriots to get that third overall pick, and then possibly
Man, they better
select
sit
Drake
tight
May.
and get Penix or something.
Nah, if I'm Minnesota, I'm trying to get May. If I can get May in that system,
Good luck with that.
You're right about that, but they have the 23rd, they have the 11th, they have some second round picks. They have some capital. That can be very intriguing. We'll see in the near future. It seems like the Patriots, they're willing to talk to other teams about trading for that pick. I don't know why, because they need a quarterback, but we'll see, man. If I'm Minnesota, I'm definitely trying to draft a very talented QB like a Drake May, because Kevin O'Connell, he's the quarterback whisperer, and that system is just amazing for any QB that wants to really try to put up numbers and stuff like that. Just look at Kirk Cousins. He looked tremendous in that system. So yeah. All right, let's go down the list. Some more. Sam Howell got traded to the Seattle Seahawks.
That was a surprise. I didn't expect that.
I think that is interesting.
They turned the 5th round draft pick into a 3rd. So hey,
I think what this is that I think Seattle, they're not confident in Geno. That's could be one thing, and also I look at it and I say, well, Sam Howell, he probably wanted to feel like he can fight for a starting job and maybe succeed, because if you go to Seattle, those weapons looks pretty damn good. Mike McDonald, he seems like he'll be a pretty solid coach. he still has, we still don't necessarily know, but just going off of what I've heard from Baltimore in the past, they talk glowingly about him. It seems like a good situation for Sam Howell to try to fight for the starting job. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, that guy from Ohio State.
JSN.
JSN, Jackson Smith and Jibba. So they have talent, and if he wins the starting job, it'll be a hell of a gig for him. So I like it for Seattle. I like it for Sam Howell. It seems like both sides. It seems like the right move to make if you're because they don't have the top draft pick.
And they also I think Drew Lock wants. Did they trade Drew Lock?
They did.
He left? Yeah.
New York.
Yeah.
Giants.
Okay. Yeah. So either way, if even if he can't get the starting job, you got a pretty solid backup. Yeah.
Best backup in the league.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win, really. You can never honestly like having a backup QB is valuable.
Mm-hmm.
We saw with the Colts when Anthony Richardson went down, they still won a lot of games with Gardner Minshew, the Browns, Joe Flacco. Backup quarterbacks are important, and if you can get a really good backup quarterback, and then you're still in position to win some games. So I like it for Seattle. I think a lot of teams they don't value the backup quarterback too much. The Jets, and they just assume like, oh, well, we have this starting quarterback that we really like, so we don't need to worry about the backup. Like, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Take care of the backup QB as well, and that's, yeah. All right, so then another one, the running backs. It was a lot of moves for the running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Number one is Saquon. Going to the Philadelphia Eagles, 3 years, $37.75 million. That's, man, Saquon, he got a hell of a deal for what he's worth. Going to Philadelphia where a lot of running backs just thrive with the Eagles.
Unless you're DeMarco
Murray with Chip Kelly and that offense, which was not very good for his style of running.
No.
So, but yeah, I like this move for the simple fact that Saquon can finally go to a situation that's competent, that has weapons, that has talent, that has a solid QB that he can rely on. With the Giants, they were just wasting his talent. He was just there, a Bugatti, in one of the worst housing complexes you can name of. Like that's what the Giants were the past 4 or 5 years with Saquon Barkley. And finally he can go to a situation where he can feel comfortable, where he can feel like not everything's on his shoulders. He has lost a step.
Yeah.
He's not as explosive as he once was. He's not as elusive as he once was. But I don't think Saquon needs to be that talent in order to be effective in this day and age, because you look at the Eagles and, I mean, DeAndre Swift played well. Miles Sanders played well. Can Saquon Barkley replicate that production?
Which is interesting to me, because I don't know if they think Saquon Barkley is Christian McCaffrey or something, but you were getting good production out of players like you said, Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift. So why do you think you need to get a guy like Saquon? I don't think that move puts them over the top. They've been running the ball effectively, and we all know it's a passing league. Like, and Saquon is no Christian McCaffrey. Don't get it confused. Yeah, he could catch the ball out the backfield a bit, but Christian McCaffrey, he still has that burst. He still has that speed. You know, he's almost like a wide receiver at running back at times. But so I'm not understanding. I don't think this move really puts them over the top like some people think.
I agree with you on that front, because I'm hearing comparisons to the to the Christian McCaffrey 49ers situation, and I don't think it's going to be that situation, because again, Christian McCaffrey, you just look at him, you just look at the film, look at the games, like he's still that same Christian McCaffrey from Carolina, where he was just putting up insane numbers, touchdown numbers, the speed, the quickness, the elusivity, the breaking tackles, all that stuff, the catches, everything that comes with why Christian McCaffrey is one of the greatest running back talents we've ever seen. He hasn't declined at all. While when you look at Saquon, you could tell like his speed, just his breakaway speed and everything like that. It's just not the same. He's just not that same talent that he once was when he first came out of the draft. And that's due to injuries. He's had a ton of injuries, a ton of really bad injuries and stuff like that. And
had a lot of tread on his tires too.
yes,
He was the Giants' offense the past 6 or so years.
Yeah, and I mean with Carolina, you could say the same thing with Christian McCaffrey, but at least when Christian McCaffrey came out, you still had Cam, you still had a decent O line. It wasn't like the worst O line in the league, but when Saquon came out, it was okay. You had Odell, but you had bad QB play. The O line was always bad. He had Joe Judge. He had that one Pat Summer. Pat Shermer. Man, he had bad coaching left and right. And that was five years of just bad coaching, bad O-line play. And now you finally get to a solid team and you have tread on your tires. That's just the way it is.
He got his money though.
He got his money. But he's dealt with some injuries. So we'll see. We'll see how the Eagles look, but you might be right on that front. It doesn't really move the needle much because he's not that Christian McCaffrey talent.
And the defense was the problem for the most part. And they got Devin White. I mean, he's everybody, if you've seen any Courtside View episodes before, you know my opinions on Devin White. I'm not a huge fan of him at all. The only thing I think he does good, he runs to the wrong gap pretty quickly.
Warren Sapp, remember we talked about this a year ago about Devin White, where I mentioned Warren Sapp and he was breaking down Devin White just missing the gaps, lack of effort. We talked about that last year, and it seems like that's still the case now.
And that's playing next to a guy like Levante David. The Eagles don't have they got Nakobe Dean. Completely different ball game. He's not very Devin White's not very good in coverage.
Nope.
He seems to get lost out there sometimes. He shoots the wrong gap. He just runs fast. I don't know. That's all I can really say.
That's really what it is.
He was a product of that 2020 Tampa Bay defense. Someone posted on Twitter, they said it was like the years he was graded in the run game. And I think it was like fourth worst, third worst, second worst, the worst.
I saw that too. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's better than what they had before, but I guess 1 + 1 is greater than 0, so it's an upgrade in that aspect. But as far as he
had the rookie year and then the second year where they won the chip. Like those are only 2 years where he was a competent linebacker. After that, where he's not good. Yeah, he's not good no more.
And I know for a fact when we was playing and we would attack him in coverage, he was getting exposed out there. The Eagles did sign Gardner Johnson again.
Gardner Johnson.
I mean,
I'm not that. Josh Sweat too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they re-signed, but yeah, CJ. I'm not really.
Moved.
He's a good player, but
he doesn't move the needle.
Then them greedy fools, they try to get Justin Simmons too.
I know. I saw.
I said the league had to put a stop to that. It was nowhere in the world they was going to allow that. That would have been ridiculous.
Oh man. Yeah.
I wonder what they're gonna do with Bradbury because good lord, he stinks.
He's bad. They're gonna have to draft corner in the draft. Yeah, they're gonna have to. Kool-Aid, I don't know who it is, but they're gonna have to draft a corner because their secondary is god awful without Darius Slade. Even Darius Slade be getting cooked sometimes, but at least he could do some things. At least he's still pretty good. But everybody else on that secondary, boy,
Darius Slade, he getting up there in age.
He is. So they need to find somebody that you can pair with.
And
Darius
Eli
Slade.
Ricks is not good.
Oh hell no, he's not good. Wasn't he undrafted? He came out of. Wasn't he undrafted? Yeah, from Georgia, right? Yeah, and people.
Oh no, Eli Ricks. I thought he played at Bama.
He played at Bama.
Or maybe I'm misconfusing him with someone else.
No,
I think he did play for
he came. I remember in the preseason people was gassing him up like, "Oh man, the Eagles stole him." Like how would he go undrafted? And then the season started. It was like, "Oh, that's why he was undrafted."
No, he did play at Bama.
Oh, he played in Bama?
Yeah, I knew I wasn't tripping. Don't ever associate that garbage with my Bulldogs. Like,
shoot. Bama, though, they be having them DBs. Don't try to play with Bama's name like that. Bam be having them
Yeah,
DBs now.
They do. Terrion Arnold is a dog.
Anywho, yeah, he wasn't good. People was gassing him up. But anywho, go down the list. Let's see who else we got. We got oh yeah, my team. Listen, I don't like paying running backs a whole lot of money, but I think with Josh Jacobs, I actually like this move. I was looking at film, and one thing that stood out to me, the reason why he had a down year, that old line was trash for the Raiders. Like the run, the way that they block for Josh Jacobs was bad. They couldn't get no running game. But then I saw some other highlights of Josh Jacobs, and I'm saying he still looks like the same Josh Jacobs from the previous year where I think he may have led the league in rushing or something like that. He still looks like the same Josh Jacobs. He was making dudes miss. He was breaking tackles. It's just they couldn't run the ball because the old line was trash.
And they didn't have a QB.
That too. And they had Josh McDaniels calling plays. So I like the move. It was a lot of money, but I like the move because one, Josh Jacobs, I believe he's only 26. That's another thing. Like if you're gonna sign a running back for that money, make sure he's like in his mid-20s. He's not 29. He's not 20, 28. He's 26. I believe he's still a very good running back. The offensive line for the Packers is pretty good. In the beginning of the year, they couldn't run block as well, but at the end of the season, they were very good against the Cowboys. They were tremendous. I like this move. I think it'll bring some balance to the team. I think one of the concerns for me, will he stay healthy? I believe he'll stay healthy. We re-signed A.J. Dillon. Not the biggest fan of A.J. Dillon, but it is what it is. We probably got him for
with all due respect.
He does kind of stink, but we probably got him for like 2 years, $4 million or something. Or fine, whatever.
I would have thought they would have maybe drafted. I don't know, because they kind of similar running backs in the part. Like they're both like power backs and stuff. I don't know.
Regardless, I like Josh Jacobs. We also got Xavier McKinney. I really like Xavier McKinney. That was a great move. We got him for like $60 million for 4 years. I really like Xavier McKinney. I thought he was tremendous for the Giants last year. He's been tremendous for the Giants the past 2 years, and I love that move.
One of the few bright spots on that defense.
Yeah, so he's going to bring a lot of just different things for this defense that we were missing from last year. And thank God, no more Joe Barry. Thank God, no more Joe Barry. And, yeah, man, I like the two moves for the Packers. And we got rid of Devondre Campbell. We released him. He went to the ops. He went to the Niners. And then Aaron Jones went to the Vikings. It's just something about these players, when they get released or they don't get re-signed, they want to go to the.
It's been a lot of that.
They want to go to the enemy.
It's been a lot. Shoot, Geno Stone went to the Bengals.
The Bengals,
and then Patrick Queen went to the
Steelers.
Like, what is going on?
They want to go to the op.
Yeah.
The guy from the Cowboys, he went to the Commanders.
Oh, Biotish like went. Dante Fowler went. I think Dorrance Armstrong went to the Commanders too.
What's going on? Why is everybody
nasty work? It's nasty work
to the
league
enemy.
Wide.
Why is everybody going to the enemy?
Nasty work league wide.
Man, it's nasty business going on here, bruh. Saquon going to Philly, like it's just like, man, everybody's going to the opposing team. Derrick Henry going to the Ravens. You know, the Titans and then the Ravens, you know, they have history together. Like, man, oh my God. I like that move for the Ravens to get Derrick Henry. They need a running back. J.K. Dobbins is coming back, so you have two pretty solid running backs.
I can't think of more things scarier on a football field than a Lamar Derrick Henry Reed option. Because you're screwed either way.
Hopefully the Ravens don't abandon the run next time.
No, you pay that money to Derrick Henry. You running this football. You kidding me?
Especially in the playoffs because, you know, last year against the Chiefs, they just decided they wanted to throw the ball more, even though it was like a close game for majority of the time. But, It is what it is, man. Tony Pollard went to the Tennessee Titans. I'm not really feeling that too much. I mean, Tony Pollard, he wasn't very good last year.
I mean, towards the end of the year, he started to pick up, but
he's just a regular running back.
Man, we'll see, man. Maybe
he's one of the running
just
backs.
Stink. I don't know.
He's one of the running backs in the NFL. That's what he is. It's just like, okay, I mean, all right. It seems like Tennessee, like they sign like these just regular running backs. I remember one year they signed that one running back from New England. Like they just sign regular running backs. It's like, okay, doesn't really move the needle much. Anywho, Zach Moss went to the Bengals. 2 years, $8 million. I mean, okay, we'll see. We'll see how he does. I don't know.
And then the Cowboys talk about he was out of their price range. Do you expect
2
these
years,
dudes
$8
to
million?
play for $3 and a ham sandwich? I'm confused, Jerry.
You couldn't pay 2 years, $8 million. That's too much money for a running back. That's $4 million a year.
So Stephen Jones, man, I'm telling you, he's the worst.
Cheap. DeAndre Swift went to the Bears. 3 years, $24 million. I mean, okay. DeAndre Swift is all right. I mean, he does add. He is a pretty talented running back. It's just, can he stay healthy? That's gonna be a question mark. Because last year he was there for the majority of the time for the Eagles. So congratulations. But the Eagles, their offensive line is one of the best. So he was able to to do damage with that offensive line. I don't know how he'll do with the Bears' offensive line because they're nowhere near the Eagles. So, yeah, but they brought in Keenan Allen. We're going to talk about that later, but they have DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, so that's going to keep the defense honest. And then potentially Caleb Williams getting drafted there. So, good for the DeAndre Swift, man.
I got some thoughts on that later.
All right, so then we go down the list. Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, he's going to the Chiefs. I like the move for the Chiefs. I think the question with Hollywood Brown is consistency and staying healthy. Will he be consistent enough for the Chiefs? Because it seems like a lot of these Chiefs wide receivers just are not very consistent, and they're speed guys. They're speed guys, but they just are not consistent at all. And I hope he doesn't turn into like a McCole Hardman type, where we expect him to be good, but he turns out not being good at all. He's just a guy that
should
can
be
run.
all right.
All right, well, we'll see.
He just needs to catch the freaking ball.
That's that too. Calvin Ridley signed with the Tennessee Titans, 4 years, $92 million. Damn, good for Calvin Ridley, man. $23 million a year. Whew. You have D Hop, you have Calvin Ridley.
No QB, but I mean, unless they expect Will Levis to take that lead.
Hey, Will Levis, we're watching you. No excuses. And you have the OC from the Bengals. What's his name? Brian Callahan or something. I think that's his name is. So no excuse. No excuse at all. We'll see. Anywho, let's go down the list. Darnell Mooney to the Atlanta Falcons. I don't really care. $39 million for Darnell Mooney.
Listen, man, you know my thoughts on Darnell Mooney. He, in my opinion, is a second option / high end third option.
Nah, he's a third option. He ain't no second option.
Oh my goodness, they pay, man.
$39 million, 3 years, $39 million for Darnell Mooney. That's crazy. Gabe Davis, 3 years, $39 million is crazy for Jacksonville.
They just signing whatever out there. You let go of Calvin Ridley to give the
Gabe Davis for $39 million.
They are doing Trevor Lawrence a disservice in Jacksonville. Who's he throwing to? He got Christian Kirk.
Gabe Davis, and you have
Evan
Ingram. And you have
Good
Zay
Lord.
Jones. You have Zay Jones, I think. I don't know. He might be a free agent, but
they never win in the NFC South.
$39 million is crazy, bro. Gabe Davis. Because they gave Christian Kirk all that money too, remember? I mean, he's a solid player, but not as a wide receiver one.
No, he's a slot receiver.
Yeah.
Sorry, Trevor Lawrence. It sounds like you'll never reach that superstar potential you came out the draft.
Guess what? That's what Justin Fields is. I mean, not Justin Fields. Justin Herbert. Well, it was Justin Fields. He was dealing with that. But Justin Herbert.
Oh my.
Justin Herbert. He's dealing with the same.
But
Justin Herbert, one of the best QBs in the league. Do you hear him complaining? That's all I'm saying.
He should be.
But people try to crown Trevor Lawrence, put him over Justin Herbert in rankings, but we saw how that happened. It wasn't true at all. So, All right, let's go down the list. We got Curtis Samuel to Buffalo. I mean, that's cool. I like Curtis Samuel. He's gonna add some speed.
Solid guy. He's solid.
Speed to, but he's like a 3 to
He
me.
was killing the Cowboys last year. I was like, what? Can we guard this dude?
Yeah, he's like a 3 to me. Buffalo, they need another receiver. They'll probably draft one. If I'm Buffalo, I'm drafting a receiver in the first round for sure. Let's go down the list.
Where did Michael Pittman sign to?
Michael Pittman, he re-signed with the Colts.
Oh, he did. Okay, good.
For 3 years, $70
you can't have
million.
Anthony Richardson out there just throwing to Josh Downs
Yeah.
as wide receiver one, and Alec Pierce with all due respect. I like those guys, but you need that guy like Michael Pittman.
Let's go down the list. Mike Evans, he re-signed 2 years, $41 million. That's good. Good for Mike Evans.
Baker gonna need him.
Deontay Johnson got traded to the Carolina Panthers. I like
very interesting.
Deontay Johnson
is issues.
Deontay Johnson has a lot of talent. He can run routes pretty well, but
hands a little in sometimes.
But the lack of effort at times is concerning, and he does have a tendency to be one of those wide receivers that you know the stereotype about wide receivers. They're divas. Yeah. He's one of them. That's what he is. So
But hey, man, maybe in the Dave Canales system.
That's true. That is true. When you leave Pittsburgh, you're not under that Matt Canada system. You're not under Kenny Pickett. It might do some wonders for him. We'll see. But he's not a guy that'll get you a lot of touchdowns.
No.
So
never was touchdown.
All right, so Dalton Schultz, he re-signed with Houston for $36 million, 3 years. Dalton Schultz was really good for the Texans. I'm not really too mad about it, even though that is a lot of money for Dalton Schultz, $12 million a year. Hunter Henry, don't really care. Gerald Everett, don't really care. 2 years, $12 million. Yeah, let's just skip down the tight ends. Let's go. Oh yeah, Tyron Smith, 1 year deal with the New York Jets. This one, I was very happy.
This is a boom or bust signing.
I was happy for the Jets that they signed Tyron Smith. They needed this.
They did.
Desperately, because that old line last year was awful.
It's going to be so nasty seeing a Cowboys legend in a Jets uniform.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I think this definitely is a boom or bust because Tyron Smith held. But I love it for Breece Hall. I love it for Aaron Rodgers because he finally gets an offensive lineman that's competent, one of the better offensive linemen in the past 10 years. This is going to be great. It's going to be really good for the Jets to finally have a competent offensive line, and I can't wait to see Breece Hall go crazy because last year he was running for his life. He still did a great job. He still tried his best. Like Breece Hall, bruh, if you had Breece Hall in fantasy,
oh my goodness,
man,
that was the fakest performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, he played a Commander. He had 12 receptions, 16 targets. That is crazy.
Breece Hall, you are on the board. You are on my draft board next
year. But in reality, this year I expect Breece Hall to have a great season. He's gonna go crazy. And
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson, I expect a lot from him. As long as Aaron Rodgers is healthy, they should be fine. It's gonna be. As
long as Aaron Rodgers isn't trash now.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's gonna be trash. I just think with Aaron Rodgers, it's gonna come down to one, he's not gonna be as mobile as he used to, so he's gonna be standing in the pocket a lot more. That's why it's so important for them to get quality offensive line help. Because Aaron Rodgers is at this stage of his career where he needs good blocking. He can't overcome bad offensive line play. So this was a great move for the Jets. They needed it because you cannot have Aaron Rodgers out there with that offensive line from last year. Mekhi Becton is your best offensive lineman. No, you cannot have that happening.
Nevera Tucker was the best lineman.
Nevera Tucker was their best lineman. Well, regardless, you can't have either of them as your best lineman. So, finally, they were able to get some help for Aaron Rodgers and Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. So,
they better adopt the no practice rule so we could be healthy on game day.
But the problem, they still have Nathaniel Hackett as their their OC. So, yeah. All right, let's go down the list. Let's see here. We have Jonah Williams signed to the Arizona Cardinals. Mm-hmm. This one, I didn't know that Jonah Williams switch from
Left to
left
right.
tackle to right, and he had a great season for the Bengals. And see, one of the problems with the Bengals in previous years and why they lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game is because Jonah Williams was trash. Like at that left tackle, he was bad, and so just imagine if the Chiefs had Orlando Brown and Jonah Williams played the right side against the Chiefs in the championship game. That would have made a whole lot of a difference. But he's not with the Bengals anymore. He went to the Arizona Cardinals. I think that was a great move for the Arizona Cardinals if he plays on the right side, and I'm
sure he will.
I like it for the Arizona Cardinals, especially for Kyler Murray.
I believe they had Paris Johnson playing right tackle.
He was playing right tackle. Didn't he come out? I thought he was I thought when he came out, he was like a left tackle. I thought he played left tackle.
That's what I thought as well.
For Ohio State.
I thought he was a left tackle. I see it says, should Cardinals switch Paris Johnson to left tackle? That's just a headline I just seen. So I think he did come out as a left tackle.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to put him back in his natural position. So, hey, that's a win.
I think the concern for me is that will Paris Johnson, will he do fine as a left tackle? Because left tackle, man, that's the hardest position to play on the O-line. That is his natural position, but going from right tackle back to left tackle, I always hear it all the time. Like it's like retraining, like you're used to using your left hand, and then now you have to retrain to use your right hand all the time. And so now he has to retrain again to use his left. Like it's difficult. I'll say that. It's very difficult. But at least he's had experience.
Yes.
At that side. So that's the best thing for him. I will say that a person that has played left tackle and then transitions to right tackle, it seems like it always works a lot of times. I've never heard a lot of situations where if you were a left tackle and you move to the right side, that is very problematic. So now he's going to go back to the left side, and we'll see. All I know is that they have a better O-line than they did in the previous year. And Paris Johnson seems like a very good offensive lineman for them. We watched the Cardinals game one. He did a pretty solid job for them. Everybody else didn't do well, but he did a pretty good solid job for them. All right, let's go down the list. Yeah, we could skip the guard. Yeah, we could skip all these offensive linemen. Who cares? Let's see here. What else we got in here? Chris Jones resigned with the Kansas City Chiefs.
A lot of money at guards.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, the Panthers. Salute to the Panthers. Thank God they did that. It was a lot of money, but it's much needed because you have to take care of Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Listen, Panthers. This off season, free agency draft. Worry about the offense. You can worry about the defense next year.
They did lose Brian Burns.
Worry about the offense. Take care of Bryce Young. Get yourself a receiver. Get yourself some O-line help. Get yourself a tight end. Whatever you do, worry about the offense. Get Bryce Young some help. Because at the end of the day, you gave up all that capital to help Bryce Young. Because you wanted Bryce Young. You believe Bryce Young is your franchise guy. Take care of Bryce Young. Get him a tight end. Get him some receivers. Get him some help in the O-line like you have right now. And that's it. Don't worry about the defense. Worry about the defense the next year. Take care of Bryce Young. In the draft, I think they have 2 second-round picks. Get yourself a receiver. One of those picks better be a receiver. Xavier Legay, if he slips down. Whoever it is, the best receiver available, draft him. Draft him. Don't go defense. Don't do it. Get Bryce Young some help. That's what they need to focus on this draft. This entire draft, get Bryce Young some help. That should be the focus. All right. Going down the defensive line list, we have Chris Jones. He resigned with the Kansas City Chiefs. No surprise there. 5 years, $158 million. Not shocked. L'Jarius Sneed's probably going to be on his way out. Justin,
they're looking to trade him.
Yeah, they're probably going to trade him. They franchise tagged him, but they're probably going to trade him. Justin Matabuke resigned with the Baltimore Ravens for 4 years, $98 million. Damn,
At
that's
least
a
they
lot
kept
of money.
one of their defensive guys.
Damn. He was pretty solid for them, so I'm not surprised. Christian Wilkins signed with the Las Vegas Raiders, 4 years, $110 million. He definitely deserves it. One of the better interior defensive
having
lines.
to deal with him and Max Crosby, and then Tyree Wilson could probably take that leap.
Yeah. I like it. I like it for the Raiders. Getting Christian Wilkins, it is a lot of money, but he deserves that money. He's tremendous for the Dolphins last year. Leonard Williams, don't really care. DJ Reader signed with Detroit Lions. Pretty solid.
Solid depth guy.
Okay, let's go here. Let's go. Sheldon Rankins, Bengals, don't really care. He's a good depth guy. Let's see here. Fletcher Cox retired. Daquan Jones re-signed with the Buffalo. Javon Kinlaw signed with the New York Jets. 1 year, $7.25 million. A good depth guy.
Yeah,
good depth guy.
Supposed to be way better than what he actually was coming out. But
let's see who else. Let's go down the list a little bit more. There's some guys I don't really care about. Let's go. Let's see here. Eric Armstead signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars, 3 years, $51 million.
I don't know why the 49ers released them exactly. Maybe it had to do with the money.
Injuries. Money. That's probably why.
I wanted my Cowboys to look into it, but that was wishful thinking. Solid pickup.
That's a really good pickup for them. As long as he stays healthy.
He should be all right.
And remember, they have Josh Allen, who had a great year for them last year. Not Buffalo Josh Allen. I'm talking about the pass rusher Josh Allen. He was really good for them. They still have Trayvon Walker. We're still waiting for him to break out, but who knows? Maybe this addition will help him out. So they have some guys.
Got no moves.
They got some guys, but we'll see. But Brian Burns, we talked about him a little bit, but the New York Giants got Brian Burns.
Gave him a lot of money.
A lot of money. My God. Jesus. Like 150 M's, I think it was, for like 5 years.
Mike about to get $200 million, boy. Good grief.
The thing about Brian Burns, I think he's only like 25 or 26.
Yeah, so he's pretty young.
He's pretty young, so that's good. They have Brian Burns. They have Kayvon Thibodeau. They have Dexter Lawrence. That's a solid D-line.
Annoying.
That's a really solid D-line. I think Brian Burns will really help Kayvon Thibodeau out. So I like the move. I think at the end of the day, will Kayvon Thibodeau make that next step? We'll see. He did have 11.5 sacks, which is a good sign. But at the same time, how much of those sacks were impactful? That's a question. So we'll see how things transpire for the Giants defense. But so far, I like it. I wish it's a good thing they don't have Wink Martindale. Oh my God, because it'll be really dangerous for a lot of teams. But yeah, man, they solidified that D line. They have some really good pass rushers, and they have a guy in the middle that can wreak havoc. So. Yeah. All right, let's go down the list some more. We have Danielle Hunter signed with the Houston Texans. That was a massive, massive deal. $49 million for 2 years with we already know Will Anderson's there. Oh man, that's a massive deal for them. Massive. How you feel about that?
That is ridiculous. The Texans, man, they building something. They building something special over there.
The rookie contract for C.J. Stroud.
That's how you utilize the rookie contract. You load up on dudes.
But we talked about this last week about the rookie contract and how the whole philosophy behind it is like you load up on dudes and you got the QB on a rookie deal, get them all these pieces and try to win now. At the end of the day, the QB got to be good.
That is true.
And that's rare. That's rare that a QB of C.J. Stroud's talent is this good already. So when you are lucky enough to have a QB that comes out the gate and he's already one of the 10 best QBs in the league, then you have to go all out. You have to do everything you have to do to capitalize on the situation, like with Patrick Mahomes as well when they won the Super Bowl and Patrick Mahomes is still on the rookie deal. So you have to do it right now. And Texans they're not wasting any time.
The only thing I wish the Texans did was kind of get some more running back help. Damian Pierce has cooked food, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, he is.
And I think Singletary left.
He did.
He went to the Giants, I believe. So maybe they may be on running back.
They got remember they went out and got Joe Mixon.
Oh yeah, they did get.
They got Joe Mixon.
I mean,
He's
all
okay.
right. Yeah.
He's okay. I think for this system, the zone, I think they made, I don't know I forget what type of scheme it is. I know obviously Bobby Slogan came from the Shanahan tree, so maybe his running style fits what they want to do. So, but I'm not really a big Joe Mixon guy though, because he doesn't run between the tackles. He's not very elusive.
Not all that fast either.
No. So it's like, I guess he can catch the ball a little bit, but he's not really a great route runner as a running back. So we'll see. It is the Shanahan type of system. It might help him out a little bit, but Leonard Floyd signed with the 49ers.
He's still in the
hate
league.
it.
Oh, Leonard Floyd.
Floyd.
He's
Man,
all right.
I hate it.
Solid rotational guy.
He had to go to the freaking 49ers. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Cleveland Farrell went to the Commanders. Let's talk about the Commanders real quick, because they signed Austin Eckler, Cleveland Farrell. They re-signed Jeremy Reeves, excuse me, and they got Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
They got your boy from the Cowboys.
They got Dante Fowler, Dorrance Armstrong, and Tyler Biadasz.
I mean,
I'll speak for the Cowboys.
Frankie Louvu.
I like Frankie Louvu. He's a good runner. He's a good linebacker. He was one of the dudes I wanted in free agency at the linebacker position. But as far as like Biadasz is he did make the Pro Bowl one year. Biadasz is a solid center. He's not very strong. He tends to get moved around a lot in the run game, and is prone to get bullied in the pass protection at times. Dante Fowler, he's a good rotational D lineman guy. Yeah. So is Dorrance Armstrong. Dorrance Armstrong is, don't let the sack numbers fool you. He's a product of D-Law and Micah. I'm just keeping it real, but he should, depth. You need depth at the D-line position, and Dan Quinn likes to rotate a lot of guys in and out on downs and things of that nature. So he should be a solid pickup for them.
These guys would have been great if they still had Montez Sweat. I'll say this: the Commanders right now, it all comes down to the draft.
You know what I just read? The Commanders have a team of Jags.
They have a lot of cap space, man. They just signing. It's like
depth and rotational.
I do
guys.
like Bobby Wagner as a guy. He can, whoever you draft to come in, you can teach them the ropes, and he'll be a good leader. He'll be the captain of that defense. I do like Bobby Wagner, although he is up in age, but he's still a quality linebacker. So.
Unless you put him in coverage.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the draft for the Commanders at the end of the day. They have to hit on the draft.
Oh, they got a lot of draft picks, too.
Yeah, they have to hit on the draft. If they don't hit on the draft, it's going to be a wrap for them. Like this draft right here is very important. They have to draft well. If they don't draft well this draft, it's going to be very hard for them to really compete in the future. Yeah. So that they have to hit on a lot of picks. Yeah. If they don't, then it's going to be very problematic for them. So they have to have. Remember when the Saints that one year where it was 2016 and they had like all these draft picks that they just kept getting right.
Is that the draft
with Kamara? Okay. With all these other dudes that came out of there, like they have to have a great draft. They just have to. They
got Lattimore that year too. Was that 2016? No, Lattimore was 2017.
Regardless, I remember they have to have a great draft. Yeah. If they don't have a great draft, like I remember the Jets with they drafted Breece Hall, they drafted Garrett Wilson, they drafted that pass rusher from Florida State. Like they have to
Jermaine
hit.
Johnson.
They have to hit on a lot of the draft picks. They have to. If they don't. That Dan Quinn, the Dan Quinn, Adam Peters regime, it's not gonna be well if they don't do well this draft.
Funny though, no, Dan Quinn wasn't the coach in 2020. Never mind. I was about to say because the Cowboys when that 2020 draft where they got
Micah,
no 2020 that was CD and then Trayvon Diggs and like back to back picks. But Dan Quinn he wasn't on the roster at the time.
Yeah.
So,
well, they have to have something similar to that. They have to get. Guys,
I mean, it's kind of hard to mess up the second overall pick.
I know. Well, In terms of QB, you draft the QB. It's gonna be a risk regardless.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a risk. It depends on how do you go about developing them. And they signed Marcus Mariota, which tells me that they're gonna have the QB playing this year. Because I'm sorry, Marcus Mariota, he's not a backup. He's a third string guy. He's not good.
He's not very good at all.
He's not good. A backup QB to me is somebody like
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett.
Kenny Pickett, guys like that who
Cooper
Rush,
Tyrod Taylor,
guys like that. If your QB goes down,
in a
you
pinch,
can still win some games with him. Me personally,
you can tread water.
you can tread water for like a few
that's
weeks.
that's my definition of backup QB. If your starter goes down, you can tread water until they get back.
Yeah. So me, when it comes to Marcus Mariota, I don't think he's a backup QB. Zach Wilson, I don't think he's a backup QB. Joshua Dobbs, I think he's a backup QB because he won some games for whatever team he was on. So I think he's a backup QB. Joe Flacco, I think he's a backup QB. But
what about Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold, obviously, I think he's a backup QB. So those guys, you can win games with them if your starter is out, if you're still trying to figure out, a rookie QB, you want him to develop or something like that, and you need a quarterback to stand in place for him. I don't think that's Marcus Mariota. So I think whatever QB they draft, they're going to have to play immediately. And that's where the problem is going to lie for that team.
I think a lot of Commanders fans will not be happy about that second overall pick.
It's gonna be.
It's like the fan base is like hard split between.
Yeah, it's gonna be a split.
May and Jaden Daniels.
It's gonna be a hard split.
I think the org is leaning in a different direction.
I think they're gonna go. I think they're gonna go with Daniels. I really do. I think they're gonna go with Daniels.
That's what I've been hearing.
And I think what it is with Daniels, I believe that the Commanders think that he's ready to play now.
That's what I've been saying.
And I have no problem with that, but
I think you could take that risk with Drake May, in my opinion.
You think you can start him now?
Drake May?
Yeah, I don't think you can start him now. I think he needs to sit.
I'd start him.
I
mean, obviously with the Commander situation, you can't sit him behind Marcus Mariota.
No, you can't. Nah. But like a Sam Darnold, I could sit him behind Sam Darnold for a little bit. I don't think Sam Darnold's that bad.
I mean, he's not god awful, but like Drake May, I think he's better than Sam Darnold day one. I'm sorry.
I don't think Sam Darnold's that
Drake
bad.
May, he's not as unpolished as people think.
No, I don't. No, because they trying to make it seem like he's Will Levis in terms of unpolishedness, not being ready. I think he's a better, more polished prospect than Will Levis coming out. There's a reason why he's in the top 5. Yeah. Will Levis slipped because people were like, he can't read, he's not fundamentally sound, and all this other stuff. Why is Drake May not slipping to the second round? It's because teams probably see something that Will Levis didn't have, which was the ability to make plays that you can't even teach. And
right.
he can throw between the numbers. He can make tight window throws. He is a very talented QB. It's just there's just a lot of negativity coming out about him. But regardless, anywho, back to what we were saying, free agency. Let's see here. Let's. All right. I think that'll do it for the free agency portion. Yeah. It's not really much else to really talk about. We've been going on for like 50 minutes. I mean, Cameron Curl signed with the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, okay, we already talked about Geno Stone and all that. Jordan Poyer signed with the Dolphins. That's a huge pickup, but can he stay healthy is the question. Micah Hyde, there's rumors about him potentially going to the Packers.
Interesting.
That would be great. I would love to see that reunion. But yeah.
Y'all don't like Darnell
Savage.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, he's
not good.
He's okay, but he just hasn't. Ever since we got rid of Mike Pettin and then brought in Joe Barry, he just hasn't been that same player for us. He signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years. So
okay.
Yeah, I like Micah Hyde. I would love to have Micah Hyde back on the Packers. All right, I think that'll do it for the free agency portion. I don't want to go too long on this. We already went like over 50 minutes for it. So, anywho,
a lot of news to cover.
Yeah, a lot of news to cover. We'll give you some updates when the things happen. All right, man. Well, that'll do it on this episode of Courtside View Podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, follow the socials as well, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Courtside View Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.
One time.